r/OutOfTheLoop. Zero Entropy says, what's going on with Star Wars Theory and everyone hating him? As a casual fan, I'm vaguely aware of his videos from when the Yata LG decides that's what I want to watch that day, but this tweet and a handful of others are implying everyone hates him with no clear explanation. I googled Star Wars Theory drama Reddit and could only find results from a 6+ months ago, and this seems more recent. I haven't seen Ender and some of the posts are about Raja baiting. Is there more to it? Joe 282 says, answer, SWT is a somewhat controversial figure in the Star Wars community and has been involved in a lot of small controversies over the past few years. He's faced a lot of criticism for his shift in content, going from informative lore videos to essentially drama bait videos for clicks about made-up controversies, focusing on the war at Lucasfilm, a dispute that has never been proven to exist, but frequently mentioned by a lot of die-hard anti-Disney era Star Wars fans, who believe there is drama between executive Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni. Much of SWT's content quickly pivoted to outright negativity and a lack of genuinely informative content, and instead baseless rumors and drama content, a sharp turn from his positive and informative content. Recently he found himself in hot water after using an AI deepfake of Mark Hamill in his short film. Hamill stated that SWT did not reach out to him about using his likeness, and SWT reacted by making a video about how Mark Hamill hates me now. SWT faced a lot of criticism for his response to the situation, mainly down to taking no accountability or apologizing, and instead turning to self-pity about how one of his idols hates him now, even though Hamill expressed no ill feelings. Seductive a pillowcase says, it really saddens me as someone who used to watch his videos all the time when I was younger, since he just seemed like a really passionate fan who just loved talking about Star Wars. Every new video I've seen so far he does not look happy to be there, honestly. It's just rants about how Disney is bad, Kathleen Kennedy is bad, everything new bad, etc. While there are some valid criticisms, it just feels like it's just drama and rage bait these days from him. Smekegsu says, you stay on YouTube long enough and start chasing the views to stay relevant and near the top of the search bar, and this sort of outcome is inevitable for a lot of creators. Forrest Pun says, answer, Star Wars Theory used to be awesome. A fun YouTube channel about lore and theories. When the sequels arrived he began to cultivate hate views. Then The Rise of Skywalker came out, and he loved it, until he got clowned by the haters he had cultivated earlier, and he immediately 180'D to hating the movie. Theory became more and more negative for the clicks. He went from passionate fan to hack who farms controversy and negativity. Ender is one of the best written and acted Star Wars stories ever. It's about the formation of the rebellion, the Empire's policies and policing, and how normal people are radicalized to serve fascism or to resist. It's bleak. It's cerebral. It's dialogue heavy. Most people are astonished a story so politically. r/OutOfTheLoop. Shiru Duck says, what's the deal with the Hunter Biden appearing at some congressional hearing? Apparently Hunter Biden appeared at some congressional hearing, and it made a bunch of news. The article seems to say that Hunter Biden made a surprise appearance at some congressional hearing because he was subpoenaed. So then he appeared, but then Republicans didn't want to let him talk. Article also says Republican wants him to testify behind closed doors, but Hunter wants to testify in an open hearing. What's going on here? My understanding is that GOP subpoenaed him to appear and testify, but didn't want him to testify directly to the public. I also vaguely remember GOP Congress members refusing to comply with subpoenas in the past with the January 6th committee. Why is there such an uproar now that Hunter Biden appeared to testify, and why are GOP so upset about him appearing to testify? I thought the precedent now was that congressional subpoenas are powerless. Riada52 says, answer, your linked article is paywalled, but it seems you understand quite well. For nuance, the former, double impeached president has been calling for the impeachment of Joe Biden for quite some time. In 2022, the Republicans took a narrow margin control of the House. Many members had promised their base that they would impeach Joe Biden. This promise ignores the fact that to impeach the president, he must be guilty of an impeachable offense. The committee has not had success raiding Joe Biden's closet, so they have decided to revive a completely baseless accusation, one that has been thoroughly debunked by a government investigation of Hunter Biden. Using some mental gymnastics to tie the president to his son, they promised their base that they will impeach. They even voted to open an impeachment inquiry. This is very strange to every legal expert I have listened to on the subject. Basically, the House is voting to impeach and are now officially investigating to find a reason to impeach. They have talked to several people close to Hunter, business associates, and they have all denied any wrongdoing by the president. Some of these meetings were behind closed doors, and Republicans tried to spin the testimony differently. They were called out by the actual witnesses who assured the public that is not what they said. Finally, they subpoenaed Hunter Biden. He said he was willing to testify, but in public, not behind closed doors. A subpoena does not specify a closed-door testimony, but the Republicans refused to have the meetings in public. Several times Hunter agreed to testify in public. The meeting that you are referring to was a meeting to discuss whether or not to hold Hunter Biden in contempt for not showing up to testify. And he took all the wind from their sails by showing up and offering to testify right there. But that's not what the committee wanted. They wanted to grandstand and thump the table and accuse Hunter of being evil. But he was there, ready to talk to them, with his lawyer. And the entire Republican group looked like children that were willing to hold their breath and turn blue if they didn't get what they wanted. And honestly, I don't think even they know what they want at this point. After listening to some nonsense, Hunter got up and left. Sadly, to be. And a BB1 says. So Hunter Biden pulled a Jed Bartlett and the same thing happened. r/OutOfTheLoop. Panzerstreck says. What's up with these UK nightlife videos, and why do they keep going viral on social media? Feels like every week I will come across a post on social media app like Twitter or TikTok which will have like 60 million views, and it's literally just somebody secretly filming British women as they walk down the street on what looks like a Saturday night. Often clearly drunk, and it seems they are completely unaware they are being filmed. No men are being filmed in these videos. I'm aware every city will have similar nightlife videos like this. But these UK ones specifically always go viral with dozens of millions of views and interactions. I've seen dozens of these posts across social media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. I see big right-wing politic accounts sharing these videos with captions like "What happened to the British Empire?" But this isn't even something that is new. Fooled Bacalade says. Answer, it's the perfect engagement bait. Regular people like you will comment/interact asking what the big deal is. Misogynists will see them in the comments complaining about modern Western women, or whatever their beef is these days. Horny people will thirst and request the info/social media accounts of whatever woman in the video catches their eye. Feminist accounts will interact with the post pointing out how much of a loser the poster is. Musk started paying for engagement, and this is what it's led to. Bots and other accounts finding out what gets the Twitter population going and just hammering that all over everyone's timeline. Panzerstreck says. This answer completely makes sense. Thanks. Crisis Averted says. Seems like a good time to reconsider perusing those social media at all, you think? Filter says. Answer, it's perfect for lots of contra retakes. Is this the downfall of civilized traditional society? Is it slut shaming? Is it creep posting? Is it a neutral depiction/cultural flavor of what the streets are like? Is this really what it's like? Is this positive or negative coverage? Should they be ashamed or proud, or is the winning move not to play at all? This is the kind of post where everyone thinks of course all reasonable people think, but then replies are going in at least 5 strongly held directions. Massive engagement driver. It's shaped content, as in shaped charge explosives. People will even talk about why it's popular in this meta way we are engaging in right now. r/OutOfTheLoop. Felad0r says, what's up with Biden's son's genitalia being used by American lawmakers? Context, is it just impressive or something? Gregbum says, answer, in 2008 Hillary Clinton ran for president and lost against Barack Obama. She became Secretary of State and planned to run for president again in 2016. Because of this, the Republican Party focused on campaigning against her long before the 2016 election. The conservative news station Fox especially focused on Hillary's handling of an attack on an American embassy in Benghazi. The Republican Party probed the Benghazi event for years. From the probe, they discovered that Hillary had been communicating using a private email server. Although Hillary claimed she just didn't understand technology, this was seen as a big bombshell and proof of her corruption. In the 2016 election, Trump's campaign was able to very effectively use the idea of Hillary's emails as a rallying point, which ultimately led to a shocking victory for Donald Trump. The missing emails were especially potent politically because they left a lot up to the imagination. After Trump became president, the issue was dropped, much to the confusion of true believers. But during the campaign, the emails were extremely exciting because they could contain whatever anyone wanted them to contain. Their lack of actual existence made them really potent politically. So in 2020, when Obama's Vice President Joe Biden ran against Trump, the Trump campaign was very eager to repeat the success of Hillary's emails with something else. Joe Biden's son was a known drug addict, so Trump's campaign manager Rudy Giuliani claimed to have acquired Hunter Biden's laptop. Like the emails, the laptop could contain whatever anyone wanted it to contain. The story didn't make very much sense, because Rudy Giuliani was always free to actually release whatever incriminating evidence he ever had, but the idea was that the evidence would be released very soon throughout the 2020 presidential election. After Trump lost, the fake laptop story was dropped, like the email story. However, now that another election is coming up in 2024, the laptop story is coming back. To try and build credibility towards the idea that Republicans actually have this laptop, some of them will show pictures allegedly of Hunter Biden's dick. The idea being that the dick pics come from the laptop, and that denial of the dick pics just prove that they are real. Liberals think this is all very dumb. Hunter Biden himself agreed to testify on the subject, as long as the testimony was public. Republicans wanted him to testify on the subject, but only in private, so that they could have control over the story. Liberals and centrists are quick to point out that Hunter Biden isn't even running for president, so this is all a very bizarre ploy. But in the early days of an election, the highest priority is usually to rally the base, and the conservative base seems to still like the Hunter Biden laptop thing. So we should expect this to continue to be a topic of interest because of that. Sarcasm Llama says, forgot to mention that a Rus congressperson showed a poster-sized copy of the pic on the House floor as evidence of something. And apparently Hunter's hog is above average, to say the least. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.